Hello, Houndoom. Hello. Looks like a Houndoom, acts like a Rockruff. So I realised quite a few of the people that watch my channel are actually quite new to Pokemon, so I thought it would be cool to kind of go through some of like the starting stuff when it comes to storing your cards, because it can quite quickly get out of control. But also the goals to give yourself when collecting Pokemon, because, well, there are so many. Like, where do you start? But we'll start with card storage. So first things first, you've opened a pack, you've got a shiny card. What do you do with a shiny card? First things first, you pop it into a penny sleeve. The Ultra Pro ones are the ones I always recommend. So you get your shiny card, pop it in, but what next? Well, you've got three main options, to be honest with you. The first one being putting it into a binder. Binders I don't recommend, ring binders with pages like this. They seem like a good idea. I've seen many a collection be damaged by ring binders like this. Where the cards lay down funny on it and stuff like that, it tends to bend cards and dent them. But if you absolutely have to, say you don't have any option, you've got ring binders, you bought them all, stuff like that, just think about how you're storing them. Try not to store them flat down. If you can, try and get them so that they're able to tuck up like that on their side. You're just minimizing the risk to your cards. Binders I do recommend, portfolio ones. So I tend to go with Voltec, just because, why does it smell like quavers? So yeah, as you can see, no chance for your cards to get damaged. The flap just sits flush to the cards. They don't get caught in any binder rings at the bottom, like in the crease at all or anything like that. But yeah, this is a slightly more premium one. You can get these for about 17, 18 quid. The ones with the zips are about 25. Let's say you don't need that. Let's say you don't need the 360 card slots this one comes with. But you can get little ones like this. They hold 160 cards. Get these for about a tenner, plastic, but they're going to do the job. So penny sleeved our card up. We've got our binder. Ooh, nearly hit me in the face. These ones are side loading. In the penny sleeve, slide it in. In essence, you're double bagging it. Also, when it comes to taking it back out again, you're not going to damage it then either. Storage number 2. Top loaders. So top loaders are, pieces of plastic. Tend to stop your card getting pierced or bent, especially in transit if you're moving them around. Very good for sending cards to people in. But for my more valuable cards that I don't put into binders, I actually tend to put them into these, into a chest or a drawer. Stops them hitting and bending each other. They sit up straight, just makes things easier. But, and this goes for sending them too, don't just put them in the top loader. It's annoying, you can't get them out. So, tabs. These are little book tabs. I am so white. One half is adhesive, the other half isn't. So stick the sticky side to the top. Obviously making sure you cover up the whole sticky section because you don't want that overlapping and touching the plastic. Get your top loader, slide it in, get it over the lip. Whoop. Simple. Option number 3. Say top loaders are too chunky for you. Then you can get semi-rigids. Think of semi-rigids like a thicker penny sleeve. The card sits in it, it's pretty thin, you can stack them. Also good for sending off for grading, because grading companies like to cut them out. Again, I like to use the tab. Obviously the card's in a penny sleeve in here. Boom. Done. Now you can fit 2 or 3 of these in the same space you could fit one top loader. A little comparison. They don't offer as much protection as a top loader, but they offer a hell of a lot more protection than just putting it in the penny sleeve on its own. So that's all your rares, so like your holos and rare cards and things like that. But how are you saying, Sam, what about your bulk? Now you're always talking about ruining your life. Well, person who asked that question, we've got some pain to go through, and you're gonna have to follow me. Oh God. So bulk is the bane of my existence, but it's one of those necessary evils when you collect Pokemon. So, welcome to my Pokemon cupboard. In here we have all my sealed products, which goes down to the bottom, but we're not going to look at that today. What we're looking at is what's at the very top in that dark and dingy corner. Oh no. Okay, here we go. So, my bulk, isn't it beautiful? What I tend to do is make little parcels of 100 cards. So I sort 100 cards, usually into commons and uncommons, like this, for example. Make it up to 100, pop them in a bag, pop them in a box, pop them in my cupboard of Pokemon. I usually do it so that I've got a box for a set. So say Sword and Shield, that might be one box in its own. If I've got a bigger box like the one you just saw, that's usually a couple of sets. I mark it off, I write the fact that there's 100 in there, I tell it what's in that packet, usually with labels. And then that way, if you ever need to trade with people, so say people need certain things, you can find it quickly, you can get it out, you can trade it with them, you can make up your sets. Makes life so much easier. So for everyone complaining at me that I've got too much bulk on my table next to where I do my openings, I'm sorting it, please. It takes time. There's hundreds. Again, I know there's going to be quite a few of you out there who know that kind of stuff. This is aimed at the people who are just starting out. These things aren't necessarily obvious to begin with. I know I make mistakes. But let's get on to point number 2. 2 of the video. Goals. Because when you first start collecting Pokemon, it can be really, really overwhelming. I mean, the amount of sets that are out, what's coming in, what's going out, you know, why has this set disappeared suddenly? These are all quite common questions, especially these days when, you know, the newest set seems to fly off the shelf. So you need to ask yourself what you want to collect, and there's a few good ways to narrow it down. You know, the easiest and most simple way is to pick a set, preferably one of the last 2 or 3 if you can, just so there's actual product out there to get, and try collecting that. At the moment, that would consist of Chilling Reign, Battle Styles, and Vivid Voltage, because they've all come back into circulation again. You could also go for Darkness Ablaze, but it's going to be a bit more premium, I think. It's got a Zard. I admit, it's not the most forgiving time, because Battle Styles and Chilling Reign are both really difficult sets to pull stuff from, so it's going to take some effort. So if you're a completionist, good luck. A good way to do it would be maybe even just cut out a section of it. Let's just say you stick with the numbered cards, so you don't have to worry about getting the secret rares, which are really hard to pull and they're really expensive to buy. So if you can get the base set of it, basically. You know, maybe modern sets isn't your thing though. Why don't we pick one of the original sets, one of the WotC sets, the vintage? I don't talk about it too much because I can only afford to open the modern stuff. That's not to say I don't have a collection, one from my childhood that I'm planning to do something with, which is funny because as I'm saying this, the van outside's just pulled up with some folders that I need to start the project I got planned. I'll be right back. There we go. So as I was saying, vintage is surprisingly accessible. First edition stuff, no, but the unlimited stuff, possibly. Obviously there are always chase cards that will be more expensive than the other cards, but the other cards are probably not as badly priced as you think. Obviously everybody tries to go for the mint card, but the reality is if you go for more of the played cards that have a little bit of whitening here and there, maybe a bit of a dink, some scratches, that kind of stuff, then you can get it, you know, for surprisingly good prices because no one's going to be able to grade it, and that's where a lot of the money is in Pokemon, is in graded cards. Now the reason I bring this up is because I've decided to set myself a goal this year because it is the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. And I've been there since the very beginning. I'm getting old. Oh god. So little Sam, about 20 years ago, was a Pokemon collector. I was fortunate, I had a family member who actually worked in a toy shop. Did I complete the sets? No. Did I love my cards? 100%. But little Sam had his problems. Little Sam only liked the shiny cards. And because little Sam only liked the shiny cards, that's what he went for. And the shiny cards would end up in these folders. Now this only had space for about 160 cards. And I quite quickly ran out of room. So the favourites that wouldn't fit in the folder would fit into these. Kit one, and I had a Blastoise one. And they were cool. And then the rest of my cards would get thrown into a big red box. I had most of the cards it took to make a base set, and I never did it. I never tried to make a folder of base set. That changes now. Base set's only 102 cards big. My cards are not mint. They're not even close. They're played, at best. No, they're quite a few are excellent, to be honest with you. So we're going to try and make a base set this year, and that's my goal. Being honest with you, there is some amazing artwork in the earlier sets, and it's time that they live in a binder. So using PokeCollect, I've worked out that I have basically 70% of the collection already. So these are all my childhood cards. My biggest problem seems to be the trainer cards, because as a kid, why would I care? There's a few commons missing, weirdly enough. Not sure why. Now we're getting to the rares, so I've got a few missing. Obviously there's a Zapdos missing here, there's a Clefairy, there's a Raichu missing, Dugtrio, Pidgeotto. Important one missing here though is I'm missing a Venusaur, and I have never owned a Venusaur, ever. Like most of the cards are excellent condition, I would say. Some of them are actually near mint. One of the worst ones in this folder is that Magneton. Absolutely broken. Found him on the street. And we get to page 1. And the Alakazam's missing, and unfortunately number 4. The Charizard. That's going to be difficult. So yeah, that's my personal goal for this year, is to finish this folder like it should have been done when I was a kid. Anyway, tell me what your goals for collecting are going to be this year. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a subscribe. It would mean a lot. And I will see you guys next time.